ready.
Here we go. So we are officially live on YouTube. Yeah, there's been some latency, but just like, can you confirm me that I'm already also on YouTube, but like that should be powering soon. Guys, thank you so much. Yes, that's cool. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us and accepting like the invitation on the Decod3rs channel, Decod3rs space, etc. Because I know you're busy, right? You had a couple of busy weeks, even a year, right?
Yeah, I would say these last 2 weeks have been the busiest that the team has ever experienced during the past year. We've been in like overdrive, but it's been super fulfilling.
I know, it's cool. And I can imagine like after 1 year of hard working, like that finally minting the collection and like like seeing all of your work like finally come out and like your holders basically hold your NFT. That could it's exciting.
Yeah, I feel like we haven't gotten the chance to really step back and enjoy it yet, just because we're so focused on really delivering this art reveal. Like that's what it's really all about, when people can see that art for the first time, and we've just been working nonstop to get that ASAP.
Yeah, I can imagine. Are you going to NFT NYC to relax a bit?
I don't know if it's to relax, but we'll be there. We'll be in full force after NFT LA. I'd say it's anything but relaxing. But yeah, no, it was a really good networking opportunity, to meet a lot of people we've been talking to for the past year in person. So yeah, definitely will not be relaxing, but it'll be very enjoyable. We're all three will be there, so we're looking forward to it.
Nice. I'm gonna see you there. We're gonna meet you for real there. That's gonna be exciting. Like on Twitter and like on YouTube, like give us some reaction and like some comments if you're going to be there too. That could be like exciting. I know like our relevance for like collection, like when you create a strong community, that's the most exciting thing that you can even imagine. So yeah, man, like it's gonna be great. And yeah, sorry that's gonna be that relaxing for you guys. It's gonna be just another day at the office. But I don't know, it's cool. It's cool. And I should have started with that, but like congratulations for like the success of your mint, and like again like the hype that you have generated around your collection, like, and everyone that in your community is kind of like happy that they have minted and like see finally get what you have worked so far for so hard for the last year, right? An amazing achievement.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, and it's cool to kind of see how the community has kind of formed around it and embraced obviously what we've accomplished so far. But yeah, it's like Justin said, I don't think we've had a minute to kind of step back and realize where we've achieved and where we've come. I always say we're really at the beginning. So again, from our point of view, we've been working for over a year to kind of get us to where we are today. But the reality is delivering utility to our holders starts with obviously giving them their PFP and their Oogy, their forever Oogy. But from there, it's creating utility. So I would say it's kind of like we're going up a 10,000-foot mountain, and we're 2 steps up that right now. So we have a long way to go. Obviously, there's a lot of foundation there in place that we created over the last 12 months, 14 months to get us to where we are. But yeah, we're excited for the journey ahead. It's really exciting.
Yeah. And I mean, and it's like, again, it's really interesting. Like after 2 years, like in the NFT ecosystem, like you have basically seen like so much like other collection building, and like what did you take from like during these years of building from other collection to make like Oogy what it is right now?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say we took different aspects from a lot of the communities, the sub-DAOs that we were part of and we really started with. Obviously, I got super lucky. Decod3rs was my first community, so I saw firsthand what it's like, to build hype, to go through those hype cycles, to experience delays, to go through promises and then, not necessarily delivering it within a certain window, but then also building hype in just insane amounts of diverse ways, like they've done with youths, like they've done with all their marketing tactics. And I think that's something that us as a team like I lead the marketing side, so that's what me and my fellow marketing workers have really taken away from Decod3rs, and then just also studying like what other projects did not necessarily the best at, such as going through like the art process and not being the most prepared with having their art ready by the time they mint. So that's something that we really put a big emphasis on with doing that feedback loop throughout the art cycle design, instead of doing that feedback loop after, you know, you already mint or something like that. So yeah, that's my main two takeaways from like the art and the marketing side. And I'm sure Andy and Bryan have some others.
Yeah. So again, Justin jumped into the space. I jumped in slightly before Justin. The norm was people were jumping in, creating small teams and delivering products really quickly. And by products, I mean they were minting 10,000, 7,000, 5,000 piece collections. That was obviously a course we could have taken, but it's not something we really believed in. Again, we jumped in kind of head first. Bryan came in through the East space. Justin and I came in through the Solana space. And our idea always was to really learn the ecosystem, figure out how it operated, network, and really learn everything we possibly could to figure out if we first off wanted to create a project. And to be fully transparent, when we first came in, we had no interest in creating a project, right? We just wanted to be investors. And then after like a year and a half, maybe even 2 years, Justin, of us being in the space and obviously pulling Bryan in from the East space, we kind of all collaborated. My background is kind of starting companies, entrepreneurial background. Again, Bryan comes from more of the tokenomics, DeFi space. Justin more as an engineer. So it's like we kind of had the skill sets for a foundation of like a really strong company. And that's how we approached it, right? We kind of like, whether it was seeing how companies failed or why they failed or why companies were successful and what they did to be successful, whether it was with art, community, utility. It was just really a learning cycle for the first couple months and even the first couple of years, and just networking, gaining as much information as we could so that when we did start, we kind of what we were doing. And something we were really passionate about, and something Justin always emphasizes, is like doing it the right way, and being a perfectionist in kind of everything we do. So the reason it took us, people always say, why did it take 12 months? Why did it take 14 months to deliver art, to deliver a project? It's because we wanted to really build the foundation that would be successful long term. We didn't want to just go mint a 10,000 piece collection and see how it went. We have a real vision for the future, and that's kind of why we started the whole Oogy team.
That's amazing. Yeah, like you said, like your team is like probably like the main, like the best features that you have to execute at the scale of what you have done, right? Like the complementary skill that you have, plus like the previous experience, etc. Like that's it's massive, right? Because again, like you can take a good team and a bad project, and they will execute it well. So if you take a good team and a good project, then like you get like the next blue chip on Solana, right?
Yep, that's definitely the goal.
Yeah, I can see like some people are reporting some echoes on YouTube, on Twitter Space. Do you have the same issue? Not really. Like I think it's probably coming from me though. So sorry about that. Okay, I will check if I can fix it. Yeah. So Andy, like I think you are the TradeFi guy, right? And like it's really interesting to have that in an NFT project team foundation. Like what that kind of skill like bring to the, is that an understanding of the ecosystem, or like like not your value proposition, but like I'm pretty sure it gives you like an unfair advantage for the whole project. And like what's your understanding and your knowledge about like TradeFi is like basically killer features in an NFT project.
I can go ahead. That's Bryan, not myself. Yeah.
I can take Bryan. No problem. I can take that. So I started in the traditional finance space. I think there's advantages for sure. I think just understanding how markets work, understanding how people are receptive to certain things, understanding why people buy, why people sell. Those are all really important as like core foundational skills. But also another thing I've learned is like the NFT market acts completely different than the crypto market, which acts completely different a lot of times than traditional financial markets. So it was a whole like new learning curve in order for us to figure that out. But I definitely think that there's a lot of like core concepts, like especially as far as like running a business, being able to, build a financial model, understand a bunch of like edge cases and different cases of how things can play out, how can occur, how to play the market as far as like all of the funds that we're receiving and being the most responsible with all that. I think a lot of people in a lot of other projects have not placed enough emphasis on like the actual finances and they don't take it too seriously, like they're running an actual business. So I think bringing me on was definitely more of like, handling a lot of the nuts and bolts, handling a lot of the legal and financial infrastructure, and understanding the markets, which I think are important aspects that people maybe don't see every day.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, like I think like it's an important point. Like if we have like 90% or 95% of the collection, NFT collection that going to zero, it's because like they don't build a business. Like the understanding of like, at some point, like royalties or not, or like revenue or not, like you need to be like profitable with your collection and bring value to your holders. They basically kind of failed to provide that, and that's why like the floor price is crashing, whatever, and then like the collection is like a walking dead project, right? And like for you, like for Oogy, like how are you going to turn those sweet like a cute PFP into a profitable business?
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of plans for that, honestly. What I will say is like what we've always done and what we've always communicated to our community is that like none of our roadmap and none of our plans are predicated off of royalties. That just extends the runway of our project. I mean, even just a couple months ago, royalties were at zero. Nobody had any idea what was happening. And so like we said, we were building for the last year. So we went through the cycle of people are paying royalties. Now they're not. Now they are. Now they're not. Like, we just said we need to build this in a way that doesn't rely on that at all. So like, if anything, all that does is give us more runway to be able to build more shit, build cooler shit, do better for our community. But nothing that we've talked about executing is predicated on that. So there's a lot of revenue streams to come in the future, and I can maybe let Andy hit on some of those. Some of that has to do with our short-term roadmap. Some of that has to do with our longer-term software that we hopefully build. But I can hand it off to him, and he can explain that aspect of the business.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I'll explain it less in the terms of generating revenue and more in the terms of generating utility or creating utility for our holders, because that's really the value we're trying to create in the short term. Again, in the long term, obviously, to be sustainable and to operate as a business, we have to figure out ways to generate revenue. But our focus is create utility and then find ways to generate revenue out of that utility. So just jumping into our utility a little bit, which I think is a crucial piece. Obviously, looking at the reveal, which is in the next 7 days or next 6 days at this point in time, that's our number one focus right now, right? Because at the end of the day, our promise to our holders is to get that Oogy in front of them so that they can have their forever Oogy and, change their PFP, whatever else it is. From there, we're immediately going to shift kind of into our short-term plan of creating a lure-based roadmap that is this real cool story behind how the Oogies kind of land in the Oasis and build their foundation. Can you guys hear me all right?
Yeah, I'm trying to like check out like the echo. Sorry, but like I think it's because of like some configuration I fucked up. But like it should be fine. Like it should be like a slightly echo. Like can you like YouTube chat? Can you please like tell me if that crazy echo or that's an echo.
Hey Vince, it's really not that bad. It's slight echo. It's really not that bad.
Okay. Okay, thanks, man. Okay, we're good.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm off Twitter. I'm not on anything. I'm just using.
No. I think it's me. I can see like two balance of the sound. I think it's on my table board. Sorry about that.
No, you're totally good. So yeah, just quickly running through, and again, I'm not going to go into the super details because we have it in our Git book, and we've kind of spoken to this multiple times. But in essence, in the short term, we're created this short-term utility, which is the story about the Oogies essentially landing on the Oasis and building their foundation. So leveraging our artists, leveraging our community, leveraging engagement, it's going to be this really cool way of people utilizing their Oogy to kind of build their organization within the Oasis. And then, as we've talked about for a long time, the kind of mid-term goal is around 2 technology products that we're focused on. One is a social trading platform. So jumping a little bit to my background in Web 2, before I jumped into Web 3, I was working on a social trading application. It was leveraging an investment API, so it allowed you to link your brokerage account to your profile on the platform. So we're essentially transitioning that into the Web 3 space and going to focus on more real-time trading activity when it comes to Web 3, so NFTs, and then kind of the gamified aspect of trading with your friends, your network, and kind of other top traders in the space. And then the other platform is what's called an artist aggregator, and a name that, again, that name will evolve, but it comes from, we have a lot of one-of-one artists on our team. We have a lot of one-of-one art investors on our team. And we felt there was a real gap in the space for those 2 markets to essentially bridge. So again, today you could go on Exchange Art, you could go on Form Function, and you can go purchase art from one-of-one collectors or from one-of-one artists, but it's really tough to discover new artists. And the same thing goes, at the end of the day, we want to entice Web 2 artists to come into the Web 3 space. And in order to do so, we need to make it easy for top Web 2 artists be discoverable within the Web 3 space. So we're creating this artist aggregator, and it's going to be kind of the go-to one-stop shop location for all one-of-one collectors and one-of-one artists. So again, those are just some products that we kind of have in our scope. Those will expand, those will adjust, those will change based off of kind of our community's requests and the market needs. And then kind of another piece we're looking at is obviously IP. We're really passionate in allowing people to leverage the IP of Oogy and also their specific Oogy to build products, build companies, build brands, and given kind of our background, we have the experience to kind of lift them up and enable them to do so, whether it's through marketing, whether it's through its brand building, whatever. So those are just kind of some key components, but obviously there's a lot more kind of on our first year roadmap and moving forward from there.
Yeah, because like both products are like long-term development pipeline. Like I can't imagine like your Trello board with all of those features, right? Because like that, like the platform you mentioned, like is like when your documentation, like that's a social media application designed specific for Web3, right? Like that's the problem you wanted to solve, right?
Yeah, like a big issue that I think everyone in the space agrees to is Twitter fell into being the central social platform for Web3, but it's not for Web3. And like Justin always mentions, at the end of the day, your profile picture is circular. And we know everything, obviously, with PFPs and NFTs is not circular. So again, it's a Web2 native product that's been transitioned into Web3, and they're not adapting quickly. So there's a huge gap for a player really to step in and really have all the features that Web3 NFT traders are really looking for. And that's kind of the gap we're looking to fill.
Okay. That makes sense. Okay, let's take just 1 minute to like resolve this echo, so like the YouTube guys can enjoy it a little bit more, because I'm pretty sure it's coming from my platform. So give me just 10 seconds. Sorry about that, guys. So what?
No, you're good. Maybe Andy rejoining might help. I'm not sure if that does anything.
So if I do that, it's completely off.
I don't think it's Andy.
Yeah, no, I'm because again on my the board, the sound stuff, I can see 2 sounds moving, like like the frame stuff, and I'm pretty sure it's coming from that. So here, what if I try to do that? Okay, and now Mansero. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh, you're all muted. Can one guy speak, please?
Yeah, I think we're all muted.
Yes. Okay. Can you hear us on Twitter Space?
Is it still echoing?
Yeah. No, I think
just you right now.
Just me. Oh, okay. That's why. Okay. So that's the problem. Not fun. Not fun. And now you don't have echo on YouTube, right? YouTube, can you tell me if you have any echoes? Can wait for the tech. So I need chat. No, we're good. Yeah, okay, so that's why. And if I do that, okay, and now can you hear me, everyone? Can you give me like some Jas? Can you tell me if you hear me correctly on Twitter Space?
Yeah, I hear you. I haven't heard them.
Okay.
So one of the Oogy team can talk. Real
Yeah, I'll give it another test. Am I still echoey?
I don't have you anymore. What the fuck?
Or am I good?
Now you're echoing on Twitter Space.
I can see your sound, but I don't have you. Okay, so let me check that. Oh my god. Oh, okay. Okay, test. Yes. Okay.
Andy, mic check.
Is that working better now?
Yeah, you guys are all echoing now.
Oh no.
Can you hear yourself?
No, I can't hear myself, but Justin's echoing now when I hear him talk.
What the heck? Okay, so let's do that. Okay, I will need to try it again later. Okay, Andy, can you speak to me? I think it should work.
Yep, I'm all good from my end.
Okay. Okay, so I can hear you. YouTube, that should be fine. And Twitter Space, can you give me some reaction, please? If you can hear us, it's good.
Yeah, I hear you good. Can one of the guys from Oogy talk real quick?
Yeah, can you guys hear us?
I think it's fine. Okay, cool. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we all set?
Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, I think it's gonna echo for the rest of the stream. Sorry about that. Yeah. Okay. Sounds great. Cool. Okay. Let's continue. Sorry about that, guys. We will cut it out. I can't. It's live. I can't cut that out, but it will be cut it out in the recap. Cool. So, okay. So, like, honestly, okay. So that we talk about like your experience and like the business side of it. It's cool because again that. In this 1 year, like you had time like to plan and like to establish a strong foundation from the Oogy collection. How are you going to becoming the first project on Solana? What's the plan? Do you have a plan?
I don't know that we necessarily. I mean, we'd be kidding ourselves if we said that we didn't want to be the #1 project.
Yeah.
But there are so many good builders in this space. Is the echo bad, Andy? You're laughing at me.
Yeah, I can hear you echoing pretty bad.
Guys, I'm gonna drop. I'm gonna let you take this. I think the echo is coming through from mine, so I'm just gonna drop if that's all right. Bryan and Justin should be able to take all the questions. I think it's my devices.
How about now? I just left the Twitter space.
Let me know if that fixes it. Yeah, it's still echoing. I'm gonna drop and let you guys take it and see if that fixes it.
Okay. That's so sad.
Poor Andy. Okay. Anyway, am I still echoing?
I can see your video now. I think you're good.
Just can you confirm that everything is good on Twitter? Can you hear us? I think it's fine. That's so sad. We lost one guy.
So that's where we're team
so
3.
It's worth it.
Okay. Okay. So what was my question? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, top 1 on Solana.
Yeah. So anyway, what I was saying was, we'd be kidding ourselves if we weren't aiming for the top spot on Solana. But I think that there's so many good projects out there that we just want to continue building up the space. We want to be one of this very elite group of projects. Mm-hmm. Whether it's Klanos, whether it's the other top projects out there, like we want to build alongside them. We think that we're a lot of us are holders of those projects as well. Like we want to build alongside them. Like for us, we don't view it as a competition. For us, we view it as like the more eyes, the more people that we can all bring into the Solana space, it's kind of going to like rise all of these tides. And so we're just like happy to be a part of that. But we have tons of plans to, ultimately drive value at our holders. And at the end of the day, like, that's everything that matters. Like we could tell you we're building products, we could tell you we're building utility, we could tell you our art's the best. But at the end of the day, it's all just about what's going to drive the most value through all of those different channels. And that's what we're focused on.
Yeah, and like everyone, like you're all holders of like Decod3rs, right?
Yeah,
so you know
yeah, that's
up.
actually how most of our team met. We met there early January of last year, and got super lucky just connecting with these guys.
It's so sad. Like I should have met you by that time, man. I want to be part of your team.
Hey, there's always room.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. I mean, like I can make video for you with Echo. I can make videos with you with Echo, but that still videos. And like, okay, so from your perspective, what would be the blueprint of like someone who wants to launch an NFT collection to create hype for like the 1 billionth NFT collection that's going to come out this year and like the years after even? Yeah, what would you do? What exactly like make like put like Oogy on the map? And yeah, like what? And would you even do some change anything on what you have executed so far?
Yeah, so I would say there actually isn't a specific blueprint, and that's what makes Web3 and NFT so fun. Is that you have to be super adaptable. You know, you have to be agile, and you have to surround yourself by a team that can just really capture value. You know, wherever you see fit. So yeah, I don't think there's a specific blueprint. I'd say that the most important aspect of a founding team of a new project is to just be very receptive to feedback, right? We're in this space where the feedback loop is so short that one of the most essential skill sets is really being able to perceive that feedback loop and really just, you know, drive data, drive value, make decisions through that. And I think that's really, you know, a key foundational aspect of just capturing value throughout all these different hype cycles of what occurs in Web3.
And maybe if I could add on to that real quick, I would just say like something that I've learned from Justin and Andy and being a part of this process as a founder is that the most important thing you can have is like a insane attention to detail, whether it's down to like every post you make, every piece of branding material you put out, it all has to be perfect. And you have to be a perfectionist, because if you're not perfect, people are going to move on. People are going to find something else that is perfect and like something else that is capturing their attention, whether it's the way you talk, whether it's the way you present yourself, whether it's how you act, whether it's the holders that you interact with. Like nobody wants to see a founder who's just like getting into a bunch of drama and beef on Twitter and stuff like that. Like nobody wants to see certain things. So if there's anything I learned, it's like literally everything down to the most minute detail you have to take seriously and understand that like people are always watching you and always, you know, going to have eyes on your project. And like Justin said, there is no perfect blueprint, but everything you do has to have an attention to detail.
Yeah, and then going off Bryan's point, like we treat every single thing that we deliver to the public as a product. Like every single Twitter post, every single Discord announcement, every single graphic goes through this product design cycle where we are, like Bryan said, super focused on attention to detail, super focused on what emotions we want to evoke, what the goal is of this message. And we do that with every single piece of information that we deliver to the public.
Oh, that's fascinating. And like by having that higher standard like for yourself, like and even like seeing like the size of your team, or like the understanding of like what it takes for a new NFT collection to come out, and even like to be like noticeable in terms of like market cap on Solana or even on ETH. Like basically we are becoming like startup, like, but like even like you need a certain level of maturity in your collection and your like the creation of your collection to even like be noticed by everyone, because there is a lot of competition. So is that also increasing like the funding necessary like to launch an NFT collection? Like how did you fund your like team for the last year without going to a mint event? Is that like self-funded, or did you raise money, or like what was the process here?
Yeah, so a lot of it was self-funded between me, Justin, and Andy. I think we just had that level of belief in what we were creating. And yeah, like it's a risk that you have to take. And so, I mean, when you're willing to put your own capital at risk and own capital behind you, that I think says a lot about how much effort you're willing to put into it, right? Like back in the bull cycle, when anybody could launch, a project in a matter of like a month and do some basic marketing and hype it up, do some giveaways, be completely undoxed and sell out a 10K collection. Like, I hope those days are completely over with. Like, I hope we never get back to the hype cycle where the flood of money is just rushing in so quickly that everybody wants like a one-day flip. And like we always talk about as a team, we think that building in the bear market was one of the best things that happened to our project, because it just says so much about your team. Like there's so little projects that can succeed right now, that the ones that do, will be, ultimately rewarded for going through all of those hardships, going through, all of the crypto shit that happened last year, whether it was 3 Arrows Capital or Voyage or FTX. Like, this whole time, all this stuff is crumbling, and we're building an NFT project in the background. And we're like,
let's go.
We have no idea what's going to happen. So I think it says a lot about like your overall team and like the grit you have to be able to do that.
I like 100%, and like you have to dodge a lot of bullets in 2 weeks. Like if you have like money in Arrow Capital and like an FTX, bye. But like it's an interesting I think like you said, like people who build in a bear market, like if they can survive the like 2-3 years that coming up, like 2024, 2025. Like those projects will be like a massive success because they will have all of the track record of this bear market, and then they can even like be even more successful than all of the projects that we saw in the last 2 years, right? Like because again, like that you build a community in a hard time, and then that's gonna make like a great collection for sure. And okay, so if you're able, like even if you are like executing like perfectly your collection and you want to achieve, like you are going to achieve what you want to achieve, like what would be the risk where like the OG collection could fail? Hello?
Yeah, sorry. Did you say the Oogy collection?
Like what will be like the point of failure of like the collection, or what you want to achieve?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think one of the bigger risks is the software products that Andy brought up earlier. I think obviously with building software products, a lot of the times costs can pop up that are out of scope. What you're trying to achieve with the goals may be perceived as non-value added. So it might not necessarily drive value to the holders that we have in the way that we want to see fit. So I think that's more of the risk on the utility side. And then I guess on the art side, right, if the PFP that we designed is not as desirable as we may think, like for us, PFPs are the single best marketing tool that an NFT project or any Web3 project can have. And the whole point of creating and spending this much time on the art, on these iterations, on this design of traits, is for people to rock Oogy as their PFP, right? Because the more Oogy you see throughout these spaces, throughout Twitter, throughout Discord chats, throughout different communities, like that's how we proliferate Oogy as a brand, as an IP brand. And I guess if, that is not seen as super desirable, like a lot of people don't do that, like that could be a small setback on the adaptability, of our brand or IP. But that's why we, surveyed over 300 people. That's why we've asked people from all, different backgrounds and everything like that. We're very confident in our art and the amazing traits that we have.
And like, what makes a great PFP? I can see like your inspiration in the docs, but like, like what make a great PFP? Simple question.
Yeah, I think super subjective, but I think one thing that stands out from every single project that we studied is a great PFP has a unique aspect to it that is easily identifiable. And for us, it's the line work, the detail of our art, and especially the ears, right? So whenever you can probably see some right now in the space, is like you'll see the ears and you'll immediately know that is an Oogy PFP. and having that unique distinction just helps spread, your brand even more.
Well, that's interesting because, and also like because of the NFT, like technicality and stuff, you can always upgrade and like change your PFP if you have to improve it. Like we saw it with like the Decod3rs, right? Okay, so it's not even real yet, but are you already thinking about like like a season 2 of the art that you have drawn right now?
Honestly, no, we haven't thought about season 2 at all. We spent 9 months on the art.
Yeah.
That we asking about season 2 already. No, but yeah, we spent so much time in the art. We're very confident in the unique traits that we've designed, in the furs, in everything, and it's crazy because we've only shown like maybe 40 or 50 traits out of the 140 plus that we have. So there hasn't been like that full encapsulation of art as what it is and what it stands for as a collection. So yeah, we're super excited for reveal and for everyone to see just like how truly special our art is.
Nice. And I have to ask you, but like when reveal this week, right?
Yep, in the next 6 days. Reveal will be in the next 6 days. Yeah.
Can you? I still have to ask you, but like, can you give us more detail about the reveal?
Yeah, so I can't right now, but I promise within the next couple days, we will be revealing what Oogy does. We'll be revealing specifics around the actual reveal process. And yeah, we have a lot of super fun items coming. It's gonna be a crazy week.
Let's go.
Yeah, and I'll just add on to that. You just want to pay attention to everything that we announce because like there's a specific reason of why we announce it in the order we announce it. Like we said, it goes back to that attention for detail.
Yeah.
We want to give people time to prepare. We want to be we're going to have like AMAs for multiple days in a row to be able to answer questions that our community has so that the process is fully understood because it can be confusing. There could be a lot of questions. So we want to definitely give enough time for people to fully understand that.
Yeah. So going off Bryan's point there, it is a unique reveal process, right? That hasn't been done before. We could have gone the safe route, just updated the metadata, but we wanted to do something really unique because for us, one of the most special items of minting your NFT is seeing that art for the first time. So we really wanted to pull that thread and just over-engineer the shit out of it in how we can just make that an emotive experience where people will really bond with their Oogy. And yeah, we're super excited to show that in a couple of days.
Nice, that's cool. That's exciting. And like, how is it important like to do something first in the NFT world? Like,
I think for us, it's incredibly important. Something like when you go back and watch the podcast that we did with Mark Colser all the way, like when we first started marketing, like literally in January, something that we all three emphasized on that podcast was like, we want to be a team of firsts. Because at the end of the day, if you're not doing something new and unique, you're just like any other project out there. Like you have to keep pushing the space forward in order to like I think you could be a good project and have good art and like be in like that like mid-tier of projects. But if you truly want like view yourself as a blue chip, you need to be pushing everyone to their boundaries. You need to be blowing people's minds. You need to be making announcements where people are like, what the hell's going on? I need to be a part of this project. Your art needs to be good enough where people are like literally physically hurting if they have to sell their PFP. Like it all just needs to come together like that to the point where like you're constantly grabbing people's attention. So it's really super important. Like that's why we spent so much time. People are like, why are you guys spending so much time on the reveal mechanism? Like how is it new? Blah, blah, blah. Like I promise you when you see it, like you'll understand why we spent so much time. And like the mint day and like the reveal process is like the most magical part of NFTs. That's when you like reveal your NFT and it like becomes part of you basically. And if you don't like it, then that's when you can go out and swap it and buy and sell and trade for a new one. But like that's, I feel we view it as like a huge, like a very important part of the process. And so we didn't want to do just like any run of the mill reveal. We wanted to, I mean, we thought for literally weeks about how we could do something new, how we could gamify and I promise you, if you saw all the work that was put on the backside of like the dev work, getting Ooze ready, going to NFT LA and handing it out physically in person, like all this stuff was thought about like months and months in advance.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, it's like iterations, right? You iterate until you find the magic sauce that's gonna stick everywhere on the timeline, right? That's bullish. That's cool. And that's exactly like the, in a way, like the Decod mindset. That's what makes like the collection what it is right now. I'd like to always innovate, push to excellence and like to innovation. And honestly, in a way, like again, like by reviewing like the website, like the decision, the way you push like all of your tweet, etc. Like I got that vibes too. So that's why like really starting to FOMO a bit.
There we go. Yeah, we talk about it all the time in like our team chat and how ourselves as team members are getting FOMO and we know what's coming. So yeah, that's when you know you're doing something right.
That's completely like like I can feel like the tingling in my hand to press a couple of the buy button, right? And like I know like to your to your community that I said I would buy live, but like if I change the scene, everything explode and we're gonna lose the stream. So I will buy a couple of Oogies, but like off stream, and I will make the tweets. So I will do it. I promise you. It's on record on Space. It's on record on YouTube. I will do it, but not doing this live. And like, I had a question. I forgot. Like between utility and even like hype, right? Like, so basically, on the market, you can see like builders project and hype and marketing project kind of way. Like even if like the marketing project are building like some kind of tools. But like you can see like clearly see like two different category of project, and like the project who are like the most successful on ETH and even on Solana are like the one that are saying like high project. For you, like how would you define Oogy? Like are you going to be a builder project with like the two software that you want to build? Or are you going to be like a marketing / hype project where you have like the heart that needs to speak for itself and like always like having like make some noise on crypto Twitter?
Honestly, I think it's more of a hybrid of both. And correct me if I'm wrong, Bryan, but I think it's very hard to make software seem like sexy, right? It's very hard to market software, technology, and utility. So we definitely have strength with our marketing, with our art, especially with our amazing community. And that's something that we want to leverage in every single thing that we build. So I'd say we're definitely more of a PFP collection first project, but we are building tools in the background. But yeah, definitely PFP first.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I think just to add on to that, when we did like I spent, for my full-time job, I do market research in crypto literally all day, every day. And so like through a lot of the research that I've done, like what you see is the most successful projects are the ones that don't start out as a pure utility project. Yeah. Okay. And I think the reason is because like basically what you do is you cap yourself at a finite tangible value right out of the gate. Whereas if you start out by like building a really, really strong community and really, really good art, those two things are like the two most powerful things at the beginning of any project. Now, after that, like your art can't just carry you forever. Your community probably like people will get bored. They'll want to move on to other things. Your community can't just carry you forever. But that's why we have the utility portion. It's like we view it as like a multi-phased approach rather than like you have to be siloed into one or the other. Like first you need to focus on those first two pillars, and then you create utility for all the people who are already very committed to your community. It's the same exact approach. Like it's exactly what Decod3rs did, right? Like you can look at it. There were times that they made decisions where people were like, I don't know if this is right. I don't agree with this, blah, blah, blah. But they pivoted, they changed it, and they continue to create utility for all of their holders. The ones who come out and say, I'm going to be this utility, it's like immediately caps your upside. They don't value your brand. They don't really value your art, your community. Like a perfect example is like Hey Wallet. Like it's an amazing product, but like there's no sense of community there. There's no like PFPs that are associated with Hey Wallet. It's just like it is what it is. Everybody knows what a Hey Wallet is, but that's all it is. It's just a product. So we didn't want to be that. And that's like when people ask us, why don't you go out and raise like VC funding? Like we value our community and our artwork too much to have gone out at the start and said, we want to be like VC funded.
That's interesting. So like, but because basically as soon as you have a utility, like you're gonna say, okay, so that utility is worth like $100. So the PFP can go to 100,000 because my utility is worth $100, right? And but on Twitter, you can see like people saying, "Oh yeah, but like, what did they build in XYZ time, like XYZ months?" So there is like kind of like a dichotomy between like what people say on Twitter and like the reality of the market, right? It's fascinating. Maybe it's because it's just Twitter, but at the end of the day, like yeah, again, like the data saying something else that what you can read on Twitter. It's funny.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, all the time we got like, what are you building? What's your utility?
Yeah.
And, people were doubting the $100 pre-sales. People were doubting the mint price. And, we just kept saying that we're building this amazing community. We have these amazing PFPs. And yeah, look where we are now.
Yeah, 100%. And are you happy with like the post-mint price action of the collection? Like, did you had like any scenarios in your team? Or just like, yeah, let it ride?
I think we weren't necessarily like trying to predict what the post-mint price was. I think we were more looking a lot at like a lot of the analysis I did was mainly like budgeting our runway in terms of like what Solana was doing because we were minting in Solana, right? And so that's why we came out and said things in terms of USD because basically we know how much our roadmap is going to cost us and how much we're projecting that. And so we worked backwards. But obviously when Solana goes from like $40 to $20, like that makes a huge impact on like mentally what people think you're minting for. So we always wanted to speak in terms of USD because we had a very strict budget in mind. But no, like as far as price action post mint, like we were just excited to see what happened. We were glad that it obviously went to where it was, and we're very bullish. I think I don't care about price that much. The most bullish signal to me was the fact that like we've had under 2% listed literally since we minted. And like, that's crazy for a 10,000 piece collection to have less than 2% minted the entire time since mint day is pretty much unheard of. I've never seen another project. I spent my time a lot in the ETH space before coming to Solana. I spent the whole last year in the Solana space. That just really doesn't happen. 10,000 piece collections don't really mint out these days, but to do that and then have less than 2% listed is pretty crazy. Like we've been at like 100 Oogy pods listed on like a daily basis on average, which is crazy.
And that's just a testament, to how strong and how much belief our community has in us. And that really goes to show you, building through this bear market, building and spending a year on this project, that shows you the impact that has in your holders. And we're so excited.
Oh, that's cool. Quick question, just asking for a friend. Is there any benefits like for people who have like multiple pods? I know like you have like the drop on who's for like if you had 3 pods, you had the airdrop. But do you have like a X Plus club or something like that?
Yeah, so we do have a whale chat within the Discord, but right after reveal, we're really going to revamp those roles and just, foster community through different roles. But yeah, right now there's a whale chat with 10 plus.
Okay, 10 plus 200. Okay, cool. Nice.
And there was like
some mental math in your head.
There was a
that was okay.
I think like you said, there was an advantage to anybody who owned over 3 got like a piece of the first initial ooze airdrop. So they got 1 ooze for every 3 pods that they owned. But that was like an initial benefit that we gave to our larger holders.
Yeah. That makes sense. And like, okay, so I know that if we look at like the youth season 2, like I know they're scrapping like the no rarity stand up because they're gonna like flip the trade. And in your collection, obviously, you have rarity, right? Like there is like top trade. Like,
we have 4 different rarity levels.
Exactly. Do you think? Collectors and like people traders of like this rarity system is beneficial, or do you think there is still place for no rarity collection that can come out?
Yeah, I think that's subjective. Personally, I love rarity, right? There's no better feeling than revealing, a 1 of 1 or a mythic or fabled Oogy. So we definitely wanted to play to that rarity card, and you'll see in our reveal mechanism, we really, like I said earlier, we pulled that thread with the reveal, with that magical process of seeing your Oogy for the first time.
That's cool.
And what what I'll also say though is like since we put such an emphasis on the art, like me personally, like the PFP I rock on Twitter is like all of our most common traits, and I think it looks so clean. If it was, I don't think it's actually in the collection because we just like put these PFPs together as part of our marketing process. But I will say like some of my most favorite ones that I think look the absolute cleanest are just like a combination of super cool common traits, and like that's like my jam. Like I would love a rare, but like my thing is like I just want it to look clean, look fresh. I think that's something the Utes collection did really well. Is like all of them look like very clean. So like as I was going through all 10,000 of them, trying to like figure things out, that's something that I paid attention to.
Yeah, okay, and just speaking to that generation process a bit more. So first what we did is we compared 1-to-1 every single trait with each other, and we made run rules through that for like our generation run rules. And then we actually generated 15,000 Oogy, right? And then together as a team, we went through every single one and we deleted 5,000 of that 15,000 to get down to that final amount. And I think having that hand curation process really ensures that there's no, ugly Oogy. So we were really proud of that like process because it seems super unique. Like I haven't heard of another collection doing that. Yeah. And obviously it's super time intensive, but at the end of the day, that's our goal, right? We don't want floors to be ugly. We want every single Oogy that can possibly be revealed to be a sick Oogy.
And what is it hard?
After work, I was staying up till 2 a.m. multiple nights in a row, just looking through Oogy. My wife was helping me. She was sitting next to me, helping me look through the Oogies to make sure that they all looked good. Like
I don't like this one. Oh no, you're right.
It was amazing. Yeah, it was amazing. It was a magical experience that I never want to do again. But it was worth it.
It was not too hard, like to delete those sweet Oogies, and then we're gonna see the.
It was it really was because you get to a point where like there are so many that look good. The first time we went, the first iteration time we went through, we were all supposed to have like 5,000 deleted. And as a group, we only deleted like 2,300. We didn't even get halfway there because it's like you're deleting like your children at that point. Like you've been working 9 months on this, and there's so many like good, clean ones. That, like eventually, you just have to make the hard decision. But it was really tough, and eventually, we just had to like go through it and make it. But yeah, it took us multiple times going through to actually get to 5,000. It wasn't like we just were like, oh yeah, delete. Like we had to go through multiple times to even get to 5,000 to delete.
Attract that kind of person, like something like that.
You just cut out for a sec.
I think I froze.
Question, yes.
Okay, so did you do you have in mind like a persona of like your favorite holders, like your best holders, or it's just like you wanted to build a collection that you would be proud of?
Yeah, we wanted every single person, regardless of their artistic taste, their background. We just wanted a super diverse collection, and we want every single person to be able to find their forever Oogy. So like Bryan was just mentioning with the collection, we spent a ton of time hand curating it, going through it one by one, deleting the ones that we didn't feel made the cut. But a super cool part and aspect that we also did is we have 75 one-of-ones within the collection. And these one-of-ones are from artists throughout, the Solana ecosystem, whether it's pixel art, whether it's abstract, whether it's, degen poets, typewriter art. Like we have probably one of the most diverse, generative collections of all time. And, like I was saying earlier, the goal is to have an Oogy for every single person, regardless of your taste in art.
Okay, that's cool. And that makes sense, right? Like, appealing to everyone. That's the best way, like to have like enough holders in your collection to make enough noise on Decod3rs because they're gonna get their forever Oogies, right? And that's cool. And like, okay, so from your understanding of the industry and like for what you saw in the years like building the last year building and even like your experience before, like what are like the the NFT holders are waiting for their collection. Like they will be happy with what you execute. I don't know if it's a clear question, but like, yeah, what are the expectations of your holders? Do you think?
I mean, I think that what we've done a good job of is like communicating our plans. And I think to your last question, like when you were asking like who the ideal holder is, obviously we want them to like the artwork, but I think that we also like the reason that we spend so much time going on spaces and so much time doing podcasts, like doing stuff like this is because like we want to connect with our community. We want our like that's one of the most powerful things you can do as a founder is like getting out there and literally being a part of your community. And so like I think that we fully see ourselves as part of a community just as much as every other holder. Our ideal holders are people who like see our vision, who empathize with us, who support with us, but who will also criticize us when we're wrong. So like I think to the question you asked about like what they expect of us, I think that they expect exactly what we've told them. And like we've executed our plan thus far. And so I think we've set a really high standard of like, this is what the Oogy team says they're going to do. And then they do it. This is what they've said now. And they did it. Like every step along the way, we've like said what we're going to do and executed on it. That's not to say that we're going to make that everything is going to be perfect and roses from here on out. I'm sure that we'll make mistakes down the line, but hopefully like our holders have enough faith, just like those other really strong communities that like, they'll be like, hey, look, they tried this. It didn't work. They're going to pivot. They're going to come back from that. This team knows what they're doing. And so like, I think that's what they expect of us. And I hope that they realize like that we're going to be working day in and day out. We're going to try and do innovative and cool shit in the space. And yeah, hopefully they just continue to back us and support us like crazy, like they have thus far.
Do you plan to have any delays for the culture?
No, we've been very careful with giving specific dates because we realize that people will cling to those dates like no other. So we're definitely, pressure testing every system, load testing every system, making sure that everything is 100% ready before announcing any dates.
Nice. Like in Twitter and YouTube, like if you are happy with like the expectation that you get from the Oogy team, like please give us some reaction or comments in the live chat. I want to see like how happy you are with the execution of the team, because that's the most important like thing you can ask from founder. And that personally, that's what I'm looking for the most, because again, you can have a plan, iterate, see that the market doesn't react correctly, change it, pivot, etc. But as long as you have like a team that's able to execute at the level of like you guys are, like for what I saw like recently, like it's fucking top notch and it's fucking incredible. That's what I want to see on the timeline for sure, and that's cool. And congrats for that.
Thank you. Yeah, definitely
appreciate it.
We can't wait to welcome you to the family.
Yeah. On Twitter, like if anyone wants to jump on stage, or if you have any question in the chat on YouTube, like raise your hand or like leave us any comments, because man, like it's already it's already 1 hour. Man, like we need to do an episode 2 post reveal.
Yeah, we're super down. We'll get Andy back in here.
Nice.
Yeah, I got
sad right now.
Just to clean some echoes, but other than that, should be fine. Okay, so like let's start. I have a couple of questions to before we wrap the show. But like, UT is like, is that gonna be a collaboration with Carlos? And by the way, congratulations with like the bastard like storytelling. That was amazing.
Thank you. Yeah,
so cool. That was so cool.
Yeah, it was super cool because I actually know Oogy, the founder of Decod3rs, and we were talking before Mint, planning out like our dates, making sure that they didn't overlap too much, and we just came up with this kind of like idea to how about we have like this friendly like art battle, a rivalry type of thing. Obviously, when you mint within 24 hours of another project, there's going to be holders of each project that are intrinsically just against each other, like there's a competition. So we want to just really feed off that. And as you can see, the art that was delivered was amazing. The timeline was all over that. And it was just super cool to see, it felt like NFTs are like fun again. And yeah, we were really happy to do that.
And 100%. That was like, I don't know, like if it was like something that you plan with the collection itself, or it was something that popped up like quickly and like almost like randomly, but that was executed like perfectly. between both?
Yeah,
teams,
it was actually random. So I knew that I knew EJ was gonna do an Oogy versus like Bastards graphic like after our mint, just for like he's doing it for other collections as well. And then we just responded to that, and I think it kind of blew up into this really cool rivalry that benefits both collections, right? Everyone's talking about Oogy, everyone's talking about Bastards, and we really just get to showcase great art, which you can see on your timeline from that competition.
100%. That was amazing, man. We have Scriber on the stage on Twitter Space. Yeah, you have the mic. You can speak now.
Hey, thanks, mate. Before I get into my question, I do just want to say, congratulations to you guys. Research project's probably the most fun I've had in a while, researching projects, and obviously minting the supply you have at the price you did in the conditions you did was quite amazing. And my question is sort of to that point about, obviously you guys have done a very good job of creating that hype, that community sense, that exclusivity, that people want to be a part of you guys. And I'm just wondering, I guess, have you looked in the past at, a lot of projects that have done something similar, had that hype initially, but have fallen by the wayside? And so have you guys looked at those, sort of identified where they might have gone wrong? You don't have to be specific about which projects, but sort of the lessons that may have been learned from those.
Yeah, I can definitely speak a little bit to it. So I think we've done a metric shit ton of research on all projects and what has happened. And you're exactly right. There's a lot of reasons why people fail. There's a lot of reasons why projects gain hype and lose hype too quickly. What I've found is it's kind of twofold. One, they only have a long-term roadmap, and they have no short-term roadmap to kind of keep people's attention, to allow people to continue being a part of getting that community sentiment. So I think an advantage to our project is we have both a short-term, call it 180-day roadmap, and then a longer-term, call it full-year roadmap, as far as like the longer-term utility, and then the shorter-term roadmap that we have. I think the other item that I was going to say is people are your humans. Their attention spans are small in nature, and the NFT space attention span is even smaller. And so one thing is also not doing anything that's too complicated. Things that have been too complex, if you have to like go through too many steps to like stake, or go through too many steps to like execute on like a certain path that the project wants to go, eventually people are like, it's not worth my time. I'm just going to sell it, take my gains that I've had, and kind of like leave it at that. So we want to not only create a short-term and long-term roadmap that engages people, but we also want to make it easy enough where like everybody has other lives, right? Like not everybody's spending 100% of their time in NFT space. So like it's the fact that people can like also live their lives, but also be integrated into this Web3 community at the same time and garner all the benefits without like grinding, without spending 24/7 on Discord, without all of those things that like ultimately like can wear people out. So through all my research, I think those are like two of the big things that stand out to me, but I don't know if Justin has anything else to add.
Yeah, I would say like there's no, I guess with our like price action and all that sort of stuff, like everything to Bryan's point, we planned out 2 to 3 months in advance. We have catalysts at every stage, depending on what happens, and we surround ourselves and create this agile environment where we can capture value, wherever we see fit. So yeah, we've definitely studied other projects that have failed to do that. And I think one thing that really gets in the way of some of these projects is like pride, right? Not receiving feedback, not going through that feedback loop, and getting, ideas from the community, getting feedback from the community. And that's something that we've really tried to create channels so it's as easy as possible to do that.
Yeah, 100%. And again, it's back to the team, right? Like if a founder is like what you said, like Bryan, like when a founder is like kind of cringe on crypto Twitter, then like the project will go nowhere, like short term, long term, right? So that's everything is coming back for the team execution and like mindset and like understanding of like the industry, how it works, etc. 100%. Did we answer your question, Scriber Network? A nice project, by the way. That's cool.
Thanks, mate. And yeah, lads, that was fantastic. I'm really excited to see what you guys keep producing. Cheers, mate.
Cheers. Yeah. And we have a question on YouTube Live. Any token planning to release? Are you going to generate some passive income?
Say that again?
Any token planning?
Oh, yeah, I can speak to this. So no, actually, we do have a utility token, but it's going to be more of like a point system. And honestly, the reason behind that is because there's such a regulatory nightmare as far as like launching an SPL token in the current environment. That's not to say that we won't eventually release one and reward our holders. Like if you have X number of points, maybe we swap 3 years from now once like the regulatory picture is clear. But like, I mean, you see like Coinbase getting sued. You see like all these companies that are getting like kind of being made an example of. And the last thing we want to do is destroy any value for our holders by making kind of like a boneheaded mistake. So what we've said is like, you could always create an SPL token later, but once you create an SPL token, you can't take it back off the blockchain. It's like out there and it's there and you have to create more value for it. So right now we're going to definitely keep it like more of an internal point system that we can control, generate value for, and that's not seen as a security by the SEC. That's purely because if we have to pay legal fees because the SECs or whoever's attacking us, that's literally taking money directly out of our holders' pockets, and it's the last thing we want to do.
You will have a season 2 mint next week. But like about like the regulation, I know like that's an argument like we hear a lot on the like the in spaces like from founder etc. Right, but like regulation is coming after Coinbase because there was like they are like on the Nasdaq they are like they're big. Like I don't think the SEC is coming anytime soon for any project on Sol in the next couple of years, right? But like if the market is asking for like the SPL and an SPL token like / passive income, because then you have like a decentralized pool on like Jupiter, etc. Are founder not like handicap themselves by not implementing those kind of features that the market understand and want in a way, or it's an opportunity to innovate with like the points?
So I like my day job. I work in Web3, and I've worked on a lot of token launches in the past. What I can say is I don't think you're necessarily handicapping yourself. I think that you have to have a very precise and legitimate reason why you want to launch an SPL token. If your community is just saying airdrop us a token, they're probably only saying that because they want free money to then dump on the open market, and the token's going to dump, and then you're going to look like every other project out there that launched a token and went to zero. And that's a lot. We don't want if we launch a token eventually, we don't want to do that. So we're going to have a very clear economic environment where you use the token, you spend the token, there's sinks and faucets and reasons to interact with the token, ways you can spend it, ways you can earn it. And it's like that full feedback loop, that full system to integrate into like its own kind of like mini economy. I think honestly, like projects that launch a token and don't have any like where to spend it other than like, you buy some merch or like anybody can do that. But like, you're not going to soak up hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of merch. Like people don't need that much merch. So, like you have to have like a very legitimate reason. I mean, even Yuga Labs, like look at what ApeCoin has done. Like I've done a ton of research on ApeCoin, and like the other side metaverse is not built yet. There's nowhere to spend ApeCoin. There's nothing to do it. You stake ApeCoin and people are just dumping it on the open market. I see it every single day. So like, why would you launch a token if you have nowhere for people to spend it on? It's like I come from a finance background and that just makes no sense to me. So like if our community starts banging on the door wanting a token, we'll definitely look into it. But I couldn't look them in the eye and say, we're going to launch a token when we have nowhere, or like if we don't have a legitimate plan to then use it on. And I don't know, maybe like legally we need to move offshore, but like right now we're a US entity. So
no, 100%. That makes sense. Being a US company, it's not that crazy. Make your life easier for sure. You have opportunities like event funding and like access to the market, etc. But in terms of regulation, that's it's kind of like tricky for sure, 100%. But like back to like the ApeCoin utility, is like the best utility is like the price by itself. Like basically when you guys doing an airdrop and they're like they're airdropping like 5K, 10K, 20K based on like the orders like back, and that's also what makes like a shitty art at 5 Sol way better when the NFT is at like 200.
Yeah, I mean, it's utility unless you're the one holding the bag at the end. That's not utility. So it becomes like my point is it becomes a race to the bottom.
No, yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, it's not sustainable in terms of like building a business for the next 10 years. Basically, 100%. And again, like this points, like yeah, if like in the next 6 months, like Oogy is like the top 10 project on Sol, and like you define a new meta with like the point, and like again, same thing for the youth and the Decod points, then everyone will do it, etc. And you will have like a one, like the point of like a point versus SPL token for sure. And then people will.
And like I said, we could always, if it becomes a year from now and we want to launch an SPL token, we could say everybody exchange your points 1-to-1 for an SPL token. We're launching it. We could always do that, but you can't ever go back the other way.
Yeah. And like, what would so like we already like way above like 1 hour. Sorry about that, but those conversations are fascinating. Like, what's missing in like in Web3 and crypto, like to see like those models, like instead of like pump and dump and like over like a 1 year period, like our project going to zero, what's really missing to have sustainable business that the same way that we have in Web2?
Yeah, Bryan, I'll let you answer that. This is your day job.
Yeah,
Bryan's an expert.
I think the best, it's maybe not what people want to hear, but the best answer is time. And what I see is a lot of big enterprises and a lot of smart money is entering the space, but they're just taking their time, and it's going to be a slow process. Like, I mean, you saw like Nike and Adidas who are getting involved in NFT collections. You see big enterprises like Disney who are like having partnerships with Polygon and stuff like that. So like it's happening, but like the sales cycle for the big money to come into this space, like you're looking at like potentially 2 to 5 years of just like to get them on board to come into the space, let alone build a product. Like once you see that happen, there's, I mean, the endless possibilities. Like who knows what could happen if you start to see like Disney and Netflix and big companies that are entering the space. So I think it's just honestly like mass adoption. And I also just think like a lot of people don't really understand NFTs because they don't spend the time to, and like how to download this wallet and put money in Coinbase and then transfer it to my Phantom. It's like, it's still a lot of friction there. So I think, but the internet had a lot of friction too to start with. So I think it literally is just going to be time, and like people like our project, people like other builder projects out there that are kind of like tearing down the walls to make those frictions less. Every time a 10,000 piece collection is minted and they bring in a couple of their friends, like you're growing the whole ecosystem. And so unfortunately, I think it's just going to take time, but it also takes a lot of like legitimate projects like us, like the other builders. I think when you see like a bull cycle and people get rugged 4 times, you're like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever done. Like, it's pointless. So
yeah, and going off that point, Bryan, I think something that we've done really well is we've been docs since day one. We're super transparent with our backgrounds, our experience, what we're delivering to the community. And I think the more we can really break down that wall and show that there's legitimate founders, there's legitimate projects in Web3, the more we can get this adoption from Web2 to Web3. So like I said, that's something that we've really been focused on since day one with Oogy.
And again, like you have executed that like perfectly, at least like at the excellent like level that take you where you are right now. And that's I love it. It's so cool. That's why I need to buy. I need to buy before we're going to 100 Sol.
Yeah, you gotta hop on board. Our Discord saying they want you to sweep a ton.
Yes, a ton. I don't know about a ton. because because I'm not that early anymore. So yeah, but like I will get a couple for sure. You're going to see me in the all the chats soon.
Let's go. Yeah, we can't wait.
Like you have your whale chat, so I need to put some money on the side for that. I like the whales chat stuff.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, we can't wait to see you in it.
Exactly. I think honestly, like we should wrap it up because honestly, it was a blast. Like we needed to do an episode 2 for sure, post reveal, or maybe in a couple of weeks when you want to do like more announcement or more like my channel is your channel, your home.
Let's go. Yeah. I think we're definitely on to do one post reveal. And like I said, we'll get Andy back in here. We'll get his connection fixed.
Yes. I just need to fix his echo, and then we can bring him back. But yeah, like on Twitter, if you have like any question, it's time to ask to request the mic. On YouTube Live, like you have a couple of seconds to ask your question again. You will have a delay, so yeah, act fast. But yeah, guys, do you have any last announcement, any alpha, any last word that you would like to say before we close up the stream?
Yeah, tomorrow we have a really amazing video coming out. It will answer a ton of questions about the reveal process and about what's to come. So make sure you're following us on Twitter, make sure you're in our Discord, and keep an eye out for that.
Being oogish, bro.
I'm feeling oogish, baby.
Exactly. Well, I think we can wrap up. Thank you. Okay. We have someone. Let me accept the request and bring him on board. So what's the handle? Is the GM overload? Okay, that's an overload. An overload is coming on stage. If you can speak, Arabic too. Okay, so we have people. Do you have a couple of minutes to take them, or is that too late? You have to go?
No, that's fine. We can take a question.
Let's take them. So overall, go for it. Can you hear me? I think you connected. Yes.
Good morning, guys.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. The Oogy team, special congrats to you guys for what you guys have done for the Solana NFT ecosystem. You guys are doing a great job. So, and I appreciate what you guys are building. It's very nice.
Thank you. Do you have a question?
So, no.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah,
I agree with you, man. I agree with you.
We
appreciate your support.
Yeah, and Vince as well, and the whole team of Decod3rs. You guys are building towards becoming something unique and great. So
thanks, man. Appreciate you. I mean, like, I hope we are going to execute at the same level as Oogy, and if we can do that, we're gonna do a good job if it's happening. Arabi, like, do you have a question for the Oogy team, or do you want to tell them like they are like fucking excellent?
They are fucking excellent. But,
yes, they are.
Justin. What's up, Justin? What's up, Bryan? My question is, you guys have been saying that there won't be enough ooze or something along those lines, but from what I could tell, I think the supply of ooze is going to be larger than the supply of the Oogy pods. So do you have a comment on that, or do we just have to wait till tomorrow for that video?
Yeah, the simple answer is you'll have to wait till tomorrow, but I'll just say that every single thing that we have designed has been planned out, has been game theoried, has been iterated on to the point where there won't be enough ooze. Simple as that.
We chose that number very specifically. We did a lot of iterations about how to get to that number, and yeah, we feel pretty good about it.
There's never enough ooze.
Do you have a who's well chat?
I don't think we have an ooze whale chat. I think you just have to buy 10 pods.
Fair enough. We do. Let me put some liquidity on the side.
Hey, let's go.
Nice. So did we answer your question, Arabi?
Yeah, they did.
Perfect.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. Yes.
I see another question in the chat right here. It says, is there going to be an incentive for people to reveal the Oogy and not hold the pod? I think we have said that, yes, there will be a reason why it will be a tangible benefit to want to reveal rather than hold your pod. But you can hold your pod, and that's not to say that it couldn't potentially go up in value based off of what's left in the collection.
Yeah.
I guess
mechanism, right?
Yeah, it's very similar to tubes, and I guess probability-wise, it might be best to reveal earlier, but like Bryan's saying, there's still incentive to hold your pod. Maybe you want to wait for the 1-on-1s or the rares, just like you see with tubes. So yeah, there's incentives both ways. We've designed it so that you have to make very difficult decisions throughout this entire process.
That's gamification, yeah.
That's the beauty of it.
That's what like gonna make that like the timeline full of like tweet and thread about like let me explain to you why you should reveal your Oogies in 10 tweets because X, Y, Z. Yeah, I can see that, man. For sure. But yeah, guys, I think we can wrap it up from here, right? That was definitely, I had a blast. I hope you had a good moment too. Again, so yeah, we did like the last announcement. Thank you so much. It was amazing. We will do another one post reveal, and once we know more about the who's, that's gonna be cool.
Hey, there we go. Yeah, thanks for having us. We had a really great time, and shout out to the Decod3rs community. Shout out to the entire Oogy community. This is going to be a magical week, everyone. So stay tuned. Like I said, huge announcement tomorrow. Follow us on Twitter. Look at our Discord, and stay tuned.
Thanks, guys.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the web chat. Thank you so much. For everyone who tuned in on the YouTube channel, on the Twitter space, it was like really, really cool. By the way, for Oogies holders, if you join the Decod3rs Discord, we will grant you like a free whitelist. So for upcoming collection. So yeah, like just take it and then check what we are doing on the channel and what we are building with that Decod3rs project. But it's basically a decentralized and community-owned YouTube channel when we basically like adding a Web3 layers to the Web3 content creation economy. So that excites me. I love like talking to founders. If you can benefit from it, that's cool. So again, if you are holding Oogies, a pod right now, you will have a free whitelist. Guys, thank you so much. And yeah, I will see you in the next stream soon enough.
Yeah, let's do it. And we'll see you in that whales chat.
See ya. Yeah, see ya. Bye.